Hi, this is WARRIOR4GOD13. This is going to be a quick video. I haven't made a video in a long time, and you will understand why. I just laugh at some of the people who still think that nothing's going on. They call us nutcases. You guys are crazy. You guys are nuts. Why don't you do something? Why don't you get a job? Why don't you get a life? Blah, blah, blah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm making this video to let you know that those people are full of crap, that there is something going on, and that the game has come to my doorstep. On August 7th, Wednesday, August 7th, 2013, agents of the ATF Sacramento Sheriff's Department, California Highway Patrol Department Undercover Division conducted a raid on my house and placed me under arrest for the sole purpose of owning and possessing assault rifles, which were legal to own. These assault rifles were purchased in the 1980s, and they are fabricated from 1984 and late 1960s to 70s. I was also in possession of a World War II relic, PPSH 41, which I bought for collector purposes and never fired. They are going to try to use this against me. They're going to try to use anything against me. If you people think that nothing is happening, let me tell you something. The game has come to my door, and I'm making this video because I'm not too humble to ask for help. I'm going to need the help from all of my friends and all of friends of friends and anybody who loves freedom and the Second Amendment. I'm going to say a couple of things here that the government will try to use to their benefit to try to chastise me and paint me out as a bad person. One, I train in a militia-style group, and I train with people, which is not illegal. It is called for by the Second Amendment of the ultimate law of this country, the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, the government of the United States has seen fit that they believe that they are the only ones that should possess firearms and not anybody else. They are in direct violation of the law that they must too adhere. The law wasn't only made for the citizens to have to do. The law was made for everybody, and the government of the United States of America is not above the law. The Sacramento Sheriff's Department is not above the law. The ATF is not above the law, and neither is the California Highway Patrol. They illegally came about 14 agents deep, and they deceitfully lured me out of my house. I guess they thought there was going to be a fight, and they didn't want to get hurt. So they concocted a story, and they told my wife in the morning when she woke up, a phony CHP car shows up and tells my wife, hey, your car was involved in a hit and run last night. We're taking a report, and we need everybody to give a statement who is and or is involved with the car. We need your husband to come down, and we need him to give a statement. Now, in LA, I would have never bought this. And let me tell you something, patriots, I won't make the same mistake twice. But in LA, I would have never bought this because I know how corrupt the law enforcement agencies are down there. But up here in the north, things run a little different. One thing I will say is that they run a little different, and they run a little thin. As, you know, they lied and they deceived my wife to convince me to get out of the house. I got out of the house to comply after countless minutes of this man telling my wife he needed to see me, he needed to get my statement. And when I got out from the house and came down the stairs and came to the office, as soon as I went in there, he calls into the radio and calls me by my name, Joe Mendez. I'm not going to hide anything anymore. They know it already. They came to the house and arrested me. And he said, I have one Joe Mendez. At which point, agents from different areas of the complex that were hiding out, and you'll see in the video how the ATF agents got here first at around 8 o'clock, They proceed to rush the office and gather as a rally point in front of the office. Immediately, I got two M16 machine gun rifles within 5 inches from my face on both sides. One cop came up with his gun in my face, and the other one proceeded to put my hands behind my back. Now, what's funny is that I was cool, calm, and collected. I didn't even get nervous. I wasn't even scared because I'm not scared. I'm not even scared to die. I'm not even scared of Satan. They were scared. They were nervous. The head agent that put me under arrest was stuttering and he was fumbling about when we were talking. They were scared. And it wasn't until they apprehended me outside of the house that they proceeded, like big bad boys, to go in four formation and storm the house like Rambo. Once they had cleared and knew that I was out of the house. The only thing that opposed them in that house was two little tiny dogs. One of French poodle descent and another one a Lady and the Tramp dog. It is pathetic that the government of the United States, knowing where people are selling drugs, people are murdering people, they are not worried about that. As a matter of fact, a couple of months before, and I'm going to go to the media with this, a couple of months before, there was a guy who was renting here who we couldn't get rid of. He was cooking meth, actually cooking drugs, illegal drugs, in his apartment here. We called the Citrus Heights Police Department, and the police said, even if he had all of the drugs laid out on the table and we caught him doing it, we couldn't do anything about it because there's no budget to press arrests on drugs. At which point I said, really? So then you mean to tell me that criminals and bad people have a green light? Now you remember one thing, government of the United States, I wasn't doing anything. I was in possession of an AK-47 Yugoslavian model 1984, which is a pre-ban model, pre-ban of the assault rifle ban. You can even buy assault rifles here in California at all of the gun shows. So you have to prove the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and your case will fall apart. Both of my assault rifles were from pre-80s manufacture and fabrication, and they were purchased in the late 80s. It is your duty to prove the burden of proof. Yet you're not interested in drug dealing people and real criminals. You're not interested in the people that are poisoning the land and the people that are criminals and running about, because all you're interested in is the American patriot abiding by the Second Amendment and owning rifles because we are in the way of your ultimate plan. Whatever that may be, you know and I know what that plan is. You know and I know. And you're doing everything in your power right now to get rid of the people that have the firearms that will abide by the Second Amendment when and if you choose to exert your power, which you are already doing. You are overstepping the bounds of your power and the bounds of your authority. Really, me and my wife, and here's my room. I build models. I build World War II historical models for a hobby. That's what I do. And I've been struggling for a long time. I had already gotten a job. I've been at the broken end of a bottle for about 5 years, and I finally got myself a job. And what do? With your overzealous, robot, bloodthirsty-like agents, you come in here and you ransack my house, and you put me in custody, which took all of our finances to get me out. As it was, me and my wife were broke, and I thought that my job was going to get us back on our feet. I'm a guy who got a job to try to do things right. And there was a guy here selling meth. And when the Citrus Heights Police Department decided they weren't going to do anything, I called the Sacramento Sheriff's Department. And you know what they said? We're not interested in the guy that's cooking meth at your apartment. Why don't you try the FBI? They might be interested. No. Nobody's interested in criminals. Nobody's interested in murderers. I'll show you a street, down the street, where they're shooting in the night over drugs. And they're dealing drugs. But you're not interested in that, huh? Sacramento Sheriff's Department, ATF, government of the United States. You're interested in citizens that are preparing and abiding by the Constitution's Second Amendment. It is our God-given right to form militias, to train. A well-armed militia is necessary to ensure the freedom of a free people against a government that will wish to oppress them and tyrannize them, which you're starting to do. Sooner or later, you're going to cross the bounds of your authority one too many times. I'm going to the media with this. The Sacramento Sheriff's Department was not interested in a guy cooking meth here that we could never get rid of. I mean, the cops were called like 50 times and they didn't want to take him. But I build models. That's all I do. And I look for work and I try to work legally. I'm a legal citizen of the United States of America. I was born here. I love my country. I love what it used to stand for. I used to be proud to be an American. But I don't like what my government is doing. And neither do millions of people. And Mr. Government Federal Agent, you need to ask yourself, when you raised your right hand and you swore an oath to the ultimate law, that you must abide by that law too, not only us. And it is upon the government's problem to prove the presence and to prove the proof that of what they are accusing me. I don't have to prove anything to you. I'm innocent until proven guilty by the Constitution of the United States. The burden of proof lies upon the government of the United States. My weapons were of pre-ban origin. They were purchased legally here in California at gun shows in the late 80s. And you didn't care about that. You just came and you ransacked the house. I'm going to show pictures of what you did to our house. You know, it's pathetic. Really? There was a guy cooking meth here, and the Sacramento Sheriff Department did not want anything to do with him. The Citrus Heights Police Department didn't want anything to do with him. I called the FBI, and they gave me wada wada yada 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 yada. He's not big enough. But you're going to come. All there is in this house is me and my wife and 2 little dogs. I don't threaten anybody with my weapons. I don't flaunt around and I don't say I'm going to kill anybody or whatever. What I do is I say that if you ever overstep your boundaries of power, which you're doing already, and which is allowed to us by the Second Amendment of this Constitution, which again, you must abide by too. The laws weren't only made for the citizen and for you to just trample and do whatever it is that you want. You must be held accountable too. And normally when you place someone under arrest or do something, they get all scared and they don't want to deal with it on that. Oh no, oh the government, oh yeah, and take a plea deal. No, sir. You're going to be exposed for what you are here. You don't have anything with me. Anything but a patriot, country-loving patriot who abides by the Second Amendment. And I can say to hell with the United States government because the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States affords me that right. And it affords me the right to bear arms, to be prepared for the time, which I believe is already happening, based on your actions here today. The videos don't lie. You're trying everything to take the guns out of the law-abiding citizens of the United States of America because we are in the way of your ultimate plan. And you're trying anything, any little bullshit story, any little deception, anything, to try to fool the American population that the people with guns are bad, but you're okay. On the way to the jail, the 2 agents that had apprehended me were talking about how their kids were going to shoot this and they were going to shoot that. Really? So are we to understand one thing, Mr. Government Federal Agent? You are the only one that should be allowed to have guns and teach your children to fight and teach your children to shoot and teach your children to have guns. And the citizenry of the United States should not own guns, right? You are wrong. The Constitution of the United States of America through the Second Amendment, which you are very aggressively trying to get rid of, affords us that right by the law. I do not fear you. I am not scared of you. We're going to have our day in court. And if you don't watch out, one day you're going to have that day out here in the field, which is why you got me out of this house. The American population is growing sick and tired of the infringement of power by your agencies upon the freedom-loving people of this country. And you have the power to do anything. You confiscated our computers. You confiscated our chips in our cameras, our phones. You know, what was funny is that the agents told my wife if she could find anything in her morality to put more burden on my arrest record, to rat me out on something else, which there's nothing to rat out because you don't have anything. Those guns were legal. Maybe the third one wasn't. It was a mistake, but it was bought in the 80s and it was bought for memorabilia purposes. It was never fired. The burden of proof rests on the United States government of America, not the people. You too must abide by the law, and you haven't been abiding by the law in a long time. You too. Here are the videos. Now here you can see the ATF agents. They pull up in their plain wrap van, plain marked van that looks like a utility van with ladders and what have you. And you can see one of the agents gets off and starts walking the complex. He starts walking the complex. These agents would later be involved in my apprehension. The signal would be given when I walked into the office. I did not put up resistance. They cleverly got me out of my house, and they proceeded to apprehend me in the office of the complex by using lies. Now, here's where the bait cop comes in. Phony CHP claim that our car was involved in a hit and run, and it was a ploy to get me out of the house without a fight and without complaining and without anything. It was a deception by the authorities to get me out of the house so that they could ransack it and they can illegally confiscate what is legally mine through the Constitution. You're going to see here that a CHP police officer, you can see the ATF van in the background there, the white ATF van where the ATF agents were waiting for a while. And here now you see the CHP car pull up to our car, and then he's going to get off and he's going to tell my wife that our car was involved in a hit and run and that he needed to talk to me. And that is the way they woke me up and got me out of the house. You'll see him get off right here. This all happened on Wednesday. You see him there getting off. And I really felt that there was something funny about all of this. Here I come, walking down the stairs, because a CHP cop has told my wife, that our car was involved in a hit and run. This is the way they got me out of the house. Without resistance. They say that it is illegal. They are the ones that acted illegal. Here you can see 4 agents arriving in their minivan that were waiting in the complex at the corner, fully loaded with assault rifles. The government feels they can have assault rifles to apprehend anybody, even if it's illegal, and that we are not allowed to have weapons. And now you can see a truck arriving with 2 more agents. So now we've counted the 1 guy inside with me, lying to me, 4 agents that arrived there, and a truck with 2 other agents that just arrived. Here you can see the 4 agents that were in that minivan are starting to back up to make their move on me. They were parked there all the time. And once they got me out of the house, they came like Rambo. Once they got me out of the house, they came like Rambo. I showed you there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was about 10 agents. And you'll see right now a couple of other agents pull up. Here you see 2 more. There's 4 in the minivan, 2 ATF agents in that van, 2 agents here in this red truck that just pulled up. There's a CHP cop inside and a couple of other cops holding me at gun bay. They came right up to my head with assault rifles. They were scared. I was just calm. I didn't do anything, so. And they're lucky I wasn't in that house. Later on, I will show you how to defeat this. There you can see they go to the stairs. That is our house there. Here you can see another one of the 2 more, 3. Until I got out of the house, then they went in there like Rambo. All that was left was our little brown French poodle and a little Lady and the Tramp dog. But here you guys go. And don't make no mistake. What we talk about is coming. It came to my doorstep. They got me out of the house cleverly so there would be no fight. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. They go to the door and then they come back. And then there's a chump walking over here. Here you go. Right there. And then when they see, when we've assured them that nobody's in the house, then they go in there like Rambo and they ransack the house. And you can see the pictures. But the government of the United States and all the agencies believe that they should be the only ones that own firearms and that the Second Amendment does not pertain to us. The Second Amendment was given to us so that a well-armed militia can ensure freedom against a government that would oppress and cause tyranny against its people. And this government is oppressing and causing tyranny against this people. As you can see there, I am not threatening anybody. I wasn't waving my guns. I build models and I had just gotten a job. And then these people ruined it for me. These people right here with their overzealous Rambo tactics. Oh, we're going to go in there. Why didn't they leave me in there? If they were so awesome, why didn't they leave me in there? Later on, I'm going to show you step by step how to defeat this. Step by step. Now that I know how deep they came and everything, it was about 10 agents. And make no mistake, they probably covered all of the exits out there by where this car is coming in, because they had sent that car with the cameras before to record all of the entranceways, all of the exits, and all of that stuff. They had been planning this for a while. What I don't understand is that there's people cooking meth. I called the sheriff's department about a month before and I told them there's somebody cooking meth in this apartment right next to ours, and they didn't want to do anything about it. But they're going to come and fight people that are for the Constitution and have guns. But they're not going to bother the criminals at all. The Citrus Police Department told us they couldn't do anything because there was no budget, that he could have all the drugs laid out, and there was no budget. It was at which point I called the Sheriff's Department of Sacramento, and they told me the same thing. We are not interested in going and apprehending anybody who's cooking meth. Why don't you try the FBI? So basically, what the agencies want to do is come to people who aren't going to resist, even though I would have resisted. And that's my constitutional right to say so, and my freedom of speech. And it would have been no contest. And they know it. That's why they pulled me out of the house. But this is coming, ladies and gentlemen. The game is at our doorstep. You better do everything in your power to prepare yourself, and you have the legal right to. You have the legal right to prepare, because this government is overstepping the bounds of its authority. Every day they're giving you a shooting. Every day there goes another guy. That guy ended up, him and another guy, the head agent, ended up guarding me and taking me to the interrogation place. They didn't even, I don't know where they took me, another place. And when I wouldn't budge, then they took me to the central jail. I just want to say to the agencies involved, I hope you're proud of yourself. Who do you got? You don't have anything. You don't have nobody. I'm a guy who builds models, who's a patriot, who's for the Constitution of the United States. Remember the Constitution, fellas? You raised your right hand and swore an oath to defend it. Well, this is not defending it. I was doing nothing and bothering nobody. And if you want to say that I train, it is my constitutional right by the Second Amendment to be able to do that. Remember, you have to abide by the law too. Not only the citizenry of this country, the authorities have to abide by the law too. You can't follow the law that the lawmakers don't follow themselves. Here comes one of the assholes. Mission accomplished. Yay. Should have left me in there. Now you can see he's looking at the other agents that are arriving. The ATF agents don't appear to have gotten off the truck yet, and you can see the head agent that later would try to interrogate me and try to convince me that what they did was not illegal. You can see him here in the video. He was the agent that eventually took me into custody. And you can see another one of the liars walking down here. And it's funny because they come all and they went all crazy, and they went in the house like if they were crazy or whatever. They cleverly lured me out of the house, and then they went crazy like if they were a badass SWAT team or whatever. Now here are the pussies conducting their illegal activities. And you know, again, they cleverly pulled me out of the house so that they could do their illegal confiscation of the firearms that I own. At this point, I'm in the office, actually in front of the office, handcuffed. They did not explain to me, or they didn't want to tell me what was going on. They just raided my house, and I didn't get my rights read until hours later. Now all the badass ATF and sheriff's agents and CHP agents, mission accomplished. They went in there like Rambo with nobody in the house. And don't fool yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. This is coming to you. This is coming to you. Do not be fooled by phony accusations at your car and this and that and blah blah blah. These guys want to take our weapons without a fight. Without a fight. You can see the ATF agent walking across from the van there. And, you know, they're gathering there with mission accomplished. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now you've seen what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing an adversary that has overwhelming resources. We are facing an adversary that knows they don't have to follow the law. The government and agencies of the United States of America don't think they're above the law. They know they're above the law, which is why they keep overstepping their power and overstepping their authority in every area of law enforcement. Watch the videos of the cops in Anaheim shooting the people for asking why a man was shot that was unarmed. And they turn on the people and they open up with non-lethal weapons nevertheless, but still. Sacramento Sheriff's Department didn't want to come for a meth guy, but they're gonna come for me. It's like I say, who am I? I'm one man and I live here with my wife. We don't bother nobody. I don't stick my guns out the window and threaten anybody. I go train because the threat is slowly but surely becoming the government of the United States of America. And again, the Second Amendment to the Constitution calls us to do it. We have a duty as citizens of this country and patriots of this country that if the government ever starts overstepping the boundaries of its authority, which it has been doing for years, it is up to us, a well-armed militia. Now they're going to twist it around and say domestic terrorists and domestic this and domestic that because they cleverly brainwash the sheep, the majority of people that have been programmed by this government that not to believe anything and not to act on anything. As the government slowly but surely closes the grip of total control on the citizenry of this country, it is going to be up to us. Ladies and gentlemen, when they placed me under arrest, they didn't even tell me why they were arresting me. They lured me out of my house with deceit and lies, and when I got in front of the CHP officer that came to make the report, 14 agents deep rushed. 4 of them rushed where I was. 2 full automatic M16 rifles within 5 inches from my face. I didn't flinch. I wasn't scared. I'm not even scared of Satan. I'm not even scared of Satan, let alone the government of the United States of America. People go, oh my God, but they can make you kill, they can make you die. We're all dead anyway. And the minute we realize that we don't have anything to lose, which they don't want that, it's game over. And I can say whatever I want to say because the First Amendment of the Constitution, again, the law that you must follow, government of the United States, government agents and agencies of the United States, you too must follow that law. It wasn't only made for us. And if you keep pushing the boundaries of your power, we are going to call checkmate on you. That you must follow those laws too. Because it is our God-given duty by the Second Amendment to do so. Our God-given duty by the Second Amendment, not yours to decide whether we deserve it or not. Not yours to decide whether, hey, I'm not going to follow it. I'm the law. I can do whatever I want. I could come and trample on people's houses. I can embarrass them and put them out on display like an animal. They did not tell me why there was a warrant for my house. Why there was a warrant for my guns. I asked them repeatedly and they told me, shut up and stay there. And I told them, I don't want to sit down. And they said, you're going to sit or we're going to make you sit, after I was handcuffed. Yeah, they're doing a great service to the people to protect and serve. You're not protecting anybody because you can't protect anybody. They would have you believe that we should not have no guns and that the agencies are adequate. They can't even protect themselves, which is why they're going overbearingly after our guns, because sooner or later they're going to wake the sleeping giant up. They didn't want to tell me why I was being arrested. I wasn't told until hours later. They didn't want to tell me why they were ransacking our house, why there was warrants for my weapons. They didn't want to tell me any of that. I'm being charged with having 2 counts of possession of assault rifles, which are not illegal. They are pre-ban assault rifles. They didn't do their homework. They just came like bloodthirsty robots with their automatic weapons, and they apprehended me with deceit and lies, and then they stormed our house, where the only thing that was waiting for them were 2 little tiny dogs. And my models. I know, my models are very, very dangerous. I'm a very, very dangerous man. I'm not dangerous because I build models. I'm dangerous because I speak the truth. I'm dangerous because I know the truth. And I'm dangerous because this can't change. The government of the United States of America can do anything to me. They know that right now. Or at least they think they can. In their mind. In this mind, no, you can't. Yeah, you can illegally send agents here and illegally try to apprehend me again. I've got a right to defend myself. I've got a right to defend myself in any way possible because you are becoming overbearing. You are overstepping the bounds of your power, and you are not by the people, of the people, and for the people anymore. You become this thing that just does its will at whatever time it wants. For the benefit of us? How is that the benefit of us? One, you can't protect us. The real criminals are out there selling drugs, shooting people on the freeway. There is a collapse in the financial market coming. That's why I had those guns. And I have equipment. And I'm not going to lie, you left my equipment. You left my Kevlar vests, my Kevlar helmets, my gas masks. We are also allowed to have those assault rifles, Mr. Federal Express. We are also allowed to have those assault rifles, and you overstepped the boundaries of your power, and you broke the law. You broke the law. And you're going to give my weapons back. And you're going to drop all charges. Because you have nothing. You're going to fabricate things because you're great at that. You're great at lying through your teeth, and you've got the power in computers and technology to fabricate anything and put anything out there. You can even put me in a movie cutting someone's head off, probably, because you have that technology. And I don't even doubt that you'll do something like that, because you're corrupt and you're not of a godly nature anymore. And sooner or later, you are going to regret what you've become. You too must abide by the rules. Now, one thing I found out is that when I got arrested in this sweep on August 7th, 80% of the people that were in those holding tanks in jail that day were for one gun charge or the other. 80%. Now, I'm not going to lie. There were criminals there that sell drugs, and rightfully so. But not everybody was a criminal and sells drugs and does criminal activity every day, and rightfully so. They are going after the people with guns, 80% of them. Montegraph just released a video that I would like all of you to see. I'm going to put the link below. And he chronicles dates, chronicle by chronicle, and he mentions August 7th. The reason they're going after the guns right now is because something big is happening. The game is here. I'm showing it to you. Ask yourself, how long before it's me? How long before they come to my door? Which they're going to come. They came to my door. As they came to July 4th Patriot's door. As they came to William Cooper's door. But one difference between me and them, one big difference. One big difference. I'm going to follow the advice of my friend, Southern California Law Alerts, Godly Patriot Girl, formerly Godly Patriot Girl here on YouTube. And I'm going to let the ultimate entity fight this battle. I have already got down on my knees and I prayed and I said, Lord, thy God, true God from true God, destroy the enemies that come to seek my soul. Destroy the enemies that come to stop me from bringing souls to your glory. For I do not fear. I'm not scared. Not 1 ounce of fright. The agent asked me, wow, you're not even nervous. You've got machine guns right here. Now. I have nothing to fear. I don't fear nobody, not even Satan. So who's the government of the United States of America? And you can do it whatever you want right here. You lost when you started. You lost when you started. Because I'm going to follow the advice of Southern California martial law alerts. I'm going to let the Lord Jesus Christ fight this battle. Now let's see. The Lord Jesus Christ, true God from true God, real God of real God, versus the government of the United States. No contest. No contest. And you can do whatever you want here or whatever. Sooner or later, the people out there are going to get together, because the Lord will get with and manifest within them to know to do the right thing. And you won't have the ability to just trample on our rights anymore. You won't have the ability to do whatever you want at whatever time you want. I'm not a criminal. I don't have one felony. Yet you're trying to give me a felony for being in possession of something that's legally right, legally mine through the Constitution of the United States. So you mean to tell me I was born in this country, I worked, I paid taxes, I signed up for the draft, I even bought the lie of 9/11, and I went to the recruiter's office to fight the enemies that would come to attack my country, the soil that gave life to my babies. I bought that lie that you brought upon the world. And you're going to come and trample my rights and try to take my Second Amendment away? No, you're not. Now, the guns you're holding in your possession illegally must be returned to me if it is true that there is moral. You asked my wife how deceitful of your agents. You asked my wife, once I was in custody, Here's my card. If you can find it in your morality to add more to his arrest, please call us. You talk about morality. You ransacked our house. You went through her drawers and saw her private things. And you talk about morality? You took about $20,000 worth of firearms that were legally bought because you felt that you're the government of the United States and you can do whatever and nobody can say anything. No, Mr. Federal Express. No. And even if you end up defeating this case, sooner or later a case will come. And Almighty God is my witness. You will regret the endeavor that you have started upon here. If it is true that you are for the people and by the people, which I no longer believe that this system is, you too must abide by the law of this land, the Constitution of the United States of America, and you must return the weapons that you illegally took. Now, if I made a mistake and I didn't turn something in that I bought in the 80s that I used for World War II memorabilia purposes, then it was an honest mistake, and I've never threatened anybody with that. And if I have to lose that, then I will lose that. I feel that I should be compensated by you. I've been at the broken end of a bottle for years because of your system, because of the collapses brought forth by the people that are really in control. And I had already gotten a job. I had gotten a job 3 weeks ago, and you hit me at the precise time. I wonder why. I wonder why. Because you don't want a middle class, because you don't want honest working people. I was working a job, not selling drugs, not murdering, not threatening anybody. And when I say that I train to defend the Constitution, and you call me illegal for that, and a domestic terrorist, you are the domestic terrorist agencies of the government of the United States of America. You too must abide by the law. The Second Amendment affords me the right to form, if I want, a militia, be part of a militia, or train as a militia, to ensure freedom against a government who would become tyrannical and impose its will on the people, which you are starting to do. You are starting to do that. And you must stop and desist your activities. And you can kill me like you killed William Cooper. You can kill me like you killed Aaron Russo. And you can kill me like you killed John F. Kennedy. I'm already dead. I'm not scared. Your agents saw that. They came within 5 inches with their assault rifle, full automatic M16s. And until I was under handcuffs, don't move! Blah, 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 blah. I was guilty until proven innocent because you're bloodthirsty, zombified robots. You swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States as agents. What happened to that? What happened to your morality? You talk about your kids being able to go and shoot and you're going to train them. So you and your agents are the only ones that should be. No. The ultimate law of this country states that we too can have firearms. That we too can bear arms to defend a tyranny against the tyranny that you're putting forward today. Now, if the shoe fits, wear it. If the shoe fits, wear it. The Sacramento Sheriff's Department wanted nothing to do with a meth lab cooker. And I called, and I'm going to go to the media with that call. I'm going to subpoena the call from my carrier, and I'm going to go to the media with that call. You don't want anything to do with real drugs. They passed in Congress today. We were hearing on the radio that they're going to be more looser on all of the drug laws, but not the people that are legally in possession of arms and rifles and stuff that can stop your tyranny, right? We can stop your tyranny because we are allowed to do so by the Constitution of the United States of America. Again, the ultimate law that you too must adhere by. Not only us. Nobody ever tells you this because you come in and, oh my God, the government. Oh my God, the government. You can kill me if you want, and maybe you will. Am I scared? No. There's not an ounce of fear in this eye right here. There's not an ounce of fear in this soul right here. Because if it is true, the way we're going, I'm already dead and I got nothing to lose. But until then, there is a law and you must adhere by that law. Brothers and sisters, Don't be fooled. This is coming to you. It's not when it's going to happen. It's happening. The game is here. They're not taking us out of the way and taking our guns out of the way because nothing's happening. They're taking the guns because something's about to happen. Watch Montegraff's video. I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to let the Lord fight this battle. I don't hate my country. I love my country. This is the land that gave my baby's life. I hate what this government is becoming. We are no longer the greatest nation on earth. We are hated. We are feared. We are loathed because we are corrupt. Because our government is too big for itself and too overbearing on the people and the world. Retract, desist. Do what's right because it's right. You can if you want to. Even those moronic agents that came, I don't hate them completely because they're programmed. But man, you're pushing it to the limit. Oh man. When is enough enough? Ask yourself, brothers and sisters out there. They took July 4th, Patriot. We did nothing. They got me out of the house deceitfully because they didn't want to fight. You must act accordingly, patriots. I'm on here asking for your help. We were already broke. It took all of our finances to bail me out so that I can prepare a defense and recuperate what's legally mine. I need your help. I'm not too humble to beg. I'm not begging. I'm not too humble to ask. I've set up a fund where people can donate. I'm going to need a good lawyer. We are facing an overwhelming enemy, an adversary. An overwhelming adversary that has unlimited resources and is stopping at nothing to get us out of the way right now. If they get us out of the way, who's left? I am prepared to do what's right at the right time when it's right, afforded to me by the laws of this country. The Second Amendment. Remember, a well-armed militia being necessary to ensure freedom against an oppressive government that would press its will on the people. I know it doesn't say that. That's my version. I set up a GoFundMe account. Please, if you can donate anything. Anything helps. There is an amount on there that I had to put an amount. It doesn't mean that that's what I really need or that's what I really want. It would be great because I know that lawyers are going to be expensive, and me and my wife, we were already struggling paycheck to paycheck just to stay alive. Let me tell you who you apprehended, government of the United States of America. You apprehended a guy who lost his licenses in the collapse. I used to be a real estate agent. And when the collapse came of 2008, I couldn't keep up with my child support payments all the time and everything. And they took my driver's license. They took my real estate license. They took my livelihood where I couldn't work to pay anything. Then I got into a case, a domestic case, with my ex because her boyfriend decided that he was going to hit my little child. And again, the authorities didn't want to have anything to do with it. All of them said, no, we can't do anything about it. And you took a briefcase with a chip in it, with a video of my children and the injuries they incurred at a daycare center. Federal Bureau of Investigation, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Sheriff Department. I know that you're not in that jurisdiction, but you're holding that video. That is the proof that my children were injured here and you did nothing at the time. You didn't want to see the video. You didn't care. There wasn't enough evidence because you aren't worried about real criminals. You want to take the people with guns out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to need your help. Help in any way possible. Make this video viral because it's coming to you. It came to me. It's coming to you. But with the help of Almighty God, we will prevail. Nobody beats the Lord. Nobody. Not even the government of the United States of America. The government of the United States of America versus the God of gods, true God from true God. No contest. No contest. Stay strong, people. Talk to each other. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of anything. This was planned. If you are not afraid, that takes them out of their plan. They too must adhere by laws. they too, how can we follow the law that you won't follow? How can we follow the law that the government of the United States and the lawmakers won't follow themselves? They must adhere by the law too. We can leave it up to the conscience of the American people to prove otherwise. But they must prove the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and they too must adhere by the law. Help if you can help. I've never been on here to ask for help. Me and my wife are at the end of our rope. I never meant to do this. This is not the way I wanted to start this fight. Some people tell me, hey, you can't call it, it's a fight. I didn't bring this fight. They brought this fight. I build models as a hobby, and I go to contests. I jog and I train my body for what's coming, that they know it's coming, which is why they visited this house and they confiscated the firearms that were legally in possession. They know, and they're going to come to your house and every house that has guns. Know that. It's happening right now. Don't let it happen. And by all means, if you can help, please help and donate. The link is below in the GoFundMe account. I want to thank all of my friends here on YouTube. Make this video go viral. Long live this republic. Hail, holy Jesus. Hail the glory of the Lord. We shall prevail. I'll catch you on the next one.